Online payments has brought forward e-security issues and constant threat to the cybercrime. Since bank is largely based on the trust of a customer on a financial brand, the banks have had to invest through the entrance of the service of safe identification, creating another small business or startup potential.
Dr. Rima, may I kindly remind you with the time, so if you can please summarize the conclusion and to have some minutes for the conversation.
Okay, so
Thank you.
I'm skipping through all the products that are
Yes, so we
offered.
can have the conclusion. Yes, thank you. We will try to spend time on these important points. Yes, findings. Thank you. Yes.
Fine. So fintech is a disruptive innovation in some product and sustaining, and because it's a data-driven and technology-driven, some customer like the intelligence that gives us for the revenue growth and the profitability of our customer and product. Um, Blockchain and artificial intelligence are the two main drivers for the fintech solution. And as we have discussed in drawback, that cybercrime is the one uh, most the major disadvantage for the fintech corporation. And all disruptive innovations are not successful, and the source on base they call job to be done. Most banks and financial institutions have good IT teams, but they lack the cutting edge IT capabilities and foresight to build that disruption. So they have to depend on the third parties or consultants to provide these solutions. And large e-commerce firm and mobile company, because they are technological company, so they are not under the financial sector, and they don't have to follow certain regulations that banks or other financial agencies have to follow. So they can provide a better um, products or customized solution to the customer. Some studies they say that fintech should not be considered as disruptor, rather it should be considered as stimulator because it is the larger increment showing them the purpose to focus on developing the product. So in fintech we can customize the product based on the requirement of the customer. So that's why they are the biggest stimulator because they don't find a solution that fits to all. Uh, and it allows many technological companies to enter into the arena and provide the products which banks cannot provide. Now, being human, we constantly look forwards for the innovations, evolvement, and new products and services. So we demand for the new products constantly. So this disruptive propagators of performance have been widespread global connection, fast-paced technological development, urbanization, and aging population. And this fintech, it is more appealing to the customer because they are able to provide the customized solution according to their need, and they can provide the support also 24/7 to the customer. So this is the final summary that it is benefit to all the parties, benefit to the banks, benefit to the new
Yes.
entrants.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the interesting presentation, and it's nice to know about your research on fintech. Actually, fintech is an interesting topic. I would like to ask if our colleagues would like to ask the presenter about some points. Thank you again for the valuable presentation. Actually, briefly, to have a space and for our other colleagues who will present today. The presentation of Dr. Rima Solaniki has highlighted how could fintech actually change the industry. Several big projects, as you know, dear colleagues, are currently currently done by several researchers and institutions all over the world to figure out how could fintech help us to probably. And I agree with Dr. Rima that this could stimulate the services. Professor Gomber and his colleague in Frankfurt Business School, they have a big project on this and published a very interesting paper on fintech, as well as in Georgetown University, Professor Rossi works on payments. I know that on retail investments. I just know that the presentation highlighted, in addition to payments, also wealth management, which opened the case, as Professor Oman showed, for many people who couldn't be able probably to go to a traditional financial advisor, a human financial advisor. So thank you again for the presentation, and we can go forward probably to the third presentation. I just would like to check with my colleague, Dr. Sining.
Yes, Dr. Mustafa. The third presentation is key challenges and hazards of digital transformation of financial services sector. So, Ahmed, the presenter is ready?
Yes, Ms. Fitline is here.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, great.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, Rima can stop sharing.
So we'll be glad to listen about the challenge and hazards now on digital transformation on financial service sector. Which this stand in line with the presentation of Professor Oman, who has highlighted the barriers. And we have a colleague here in our research department, Irena Demirtova. She has published a paper on this. Yes, we can see the presentation.
Yes.
Yes, please.
One second.
Just a quick reminder, you have 12 minutes of presentation and 3 minutes of Q&A.
Just a minute.
I guess my colleague Ahmed would like to say 12 minutes. Yes, in total we have 15, so 12 minutes will be for the presentation, and we will have some minutes to highlight reflections or question and answers.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Today I will be presenting on the key challenges and hazards of digital transformation of financial services sector. First of all, we will introduce about the digital transformation in a brief manner. It's a method of transferring finance-related information from manual recording system to the digital medium, and the sector has been in the transformation mode since early 2000, and previously hard copies were the statutory requirement, and so we had to take keep lot of records, which was taking a lot of space, and with time the digital practices became an integral part of the documentation process. So can you not see the slides? Can you see the slides?
Yes, yeah, we can see the slides. We can
see the slide. Please continue. Yes.
Yeah, because I got a message saying that they cannot see the slide. Yeah. So
Can you just please move forward and backward, just to make sure that it is going forward and backward?
Yeah. Now I'm in the introduction, digital transformation. So is it moving?
No, it is not moving. I think it's better to unshare and reshare it again, please.
Okay. Yeah. Can you see? Can you see?
Now it's moving.
Yes, now, yes.
So the purpose of the study, we will see, to examine the financial services sector, which includes banking, wealth management, mutual funds, insurance, stock market, treasury, debt instrument, tax or audit consulting, and various business services aligned to the sector. And also to study the digital transformation over the years, especially during the last decade, and also to see if these transformations were rewarding or not, and to see the challenges that the financial institutions might have faced, and also to see the reasons for the varying outcomes of digital transformation depending on the products and the risks involved. Their methodology was extensive secondary research, and information was gathered systematically from the various white papers, research papers, blogs, and government organization reports. Now, the digital transformation and the financial services sector, it's basically a people transformation process. The ability and the enthusiasm of a company's talent to embrace and use the technology for delivering better business is the key to digital transformation. Now, with the advent of technology, only everything is available, but the company has to use the talent and then to give a better business. So that is the digital transformation. And the core of digital transformation is to identify the right talent. So the right talent, again, to organize the technology, the data, the process, and organizational change management. So now, a brief about the financial services sector. It includes the depository institutions, providers of investment products, insurance companies, credit and financing organizations, providers of investment products, insurance companies, credit and financing organizations, and the providers of financial utilities and services. So the services currently it is providing to the customers are, it facilitates to deposit the funds and make payments, provide credit and liquidity to customer, invest the funds for both long and short periods, transfers the financial risk between customers, undertake the financial transactions for a fee. Now, coming to the digital transformation which has taken place in the financial services sector, this sector has a wide spectrum from banks and financial institutions to insurance to advisory to wealth management. All of them deal with people, assets, and risks of one kind or another. So the banks became an integral part of fund and asset management. Over the years, this created a large amount of funds being available at the disposal of the banks. Banks evolved to larger roles of managing portfolios, investing in developing sectors, stock markets, etc. Financial institutions saw the promise of using the data to predict future trends in financial markets. Now comes to the most important part of the challenges faced in the digital transformation journey. So first of all, like any other transformation, even the digital transformation was not an easy process. So there is a detailed report was published by the MIT Center for Digital Business, the Digital Transformation, a Roadmap for $1 Billion Organization. It highlights to us the various challenges which was faced in the digital transformation journey. The first thing was the starting process. What was the difficulty in kicking start the process? The first and the foremost was the skepticism. So managers, the top level, they were very well versed with their existing business process. So new technology turning everything upside down and challenging the status quo was very difficult to accept. As we all know, we have resistance to change. So when there is a resistance to change, this is the first step to stop the process of getting into the transformation. The second thing was, most of us prefer to be a first follower than being a pioneer. The same was with the starting of digital transformation too. So leadership is most likely to take the stance that it is better to be the first follower and have a shorter learning curve than being a pioneer and being fully exposed to all unknown risks. Because it was new to everybody, they were very reluctant to start with, because they want to be, at least some precedent should be there to know what can be the probable challenges. The third one, the lack of insight or ignorance. Senior management was also closed to the wider window of opportunities offered by the transformation. In most cases, because they lacked the insight, or they were ignorant of the change, what it would bring. Then also the threats, probable threats due to digital transformation was also a reason that prompted the leadership to delay the process and not to just start it before any person would start. The next one was lack of clarity. The leadership, most of the top management, they were not very clear about the regulatory or statutory norms pertaining to the new business model and the risk. So the risk, they did not want to take this risk. So if there is an uncontrollable fallout in social media, that gave the leadership not to embark on the journey or take it slow. So these were the challenges which was faced in the digital economy. So this is the first stage, that is to start the process. Then this is while executing the actions for the transformation. So in this stage, what happened? Digital transformation, it needs very specific skills. So it was difficult to get a clear grasp of what are the exact skills required. So in some cases, it meant a combination of multiple dynamic components. So without a technology leader, the organizational change expert and a business leader all working together, the path became very tedious. So we have to combine multiple dynamic components. So it was needed. The next one was integration of technical knowledge with shop floor realities can be a huge challenge. So what happened was technical experts were working on and they understood how the technology works, but unfortunately they did not have the inherent understanding of the business. So the integration of this technical knowledge with the shop floor realities created a huge challenge. Then the transformation has to be successfully passed down from top to bottom. So when the situation, always any transformation, as we all know, should come from the top to bottom. So when the situation unravels at the worker level, they will have concerns, doubts, and misinformation. So many of them had a lot of trouble to disseminate this information from top to bottom. So this was also a challenge which was faced by them. Then next was the robust technology platform. So as you all know, digital transformation for a business must be based on a robust technology platform. It should be planned for substantially scalability in transactional volume. So the way the technology performs, it should be reliable and able to perform with some predictability. However, in many cases, the technology is a stitched up set of solutions meaning they took from here and there, but not a very robust technology was not in the use. Then the next one, the challenge which they faced was domain depth of its IT team. So expertise in the consultant processes, they were expertise in a particular field, but again, everything, the technology, the transformation was in such a speed that the right domain of depth, the expertise was not able to be seen for all the transformation which was required in the stream. The next one, inability of the senior management to administer change of such large proportion. Actually, what happened was the senior management made the mistake of treating this as an exercise which can be done with some changes here and there. They created a website which looked modern, then continued with what has been done in the age-old practice. So what happened was they were not able to be in line with what really the transformation technology needed. So this is the inability of senior management to change to such a large proportion, and that too in a very faster manner. Now, very, very important is the risks and hazards which it has faced. So the first risk is cyber risk. So the top threat for the CEOs in the financial services, that was the cyber risk. It scores much higher than the other threats. The other more than the health risk, more than the geopolitical conflict, social inequality, this cyber risk played a big role as in implementation of this digital transformation. Then the rapid changes made during the COVID-19 pandemic. What happened? Retail branches got shut, offices got closed, and the banks had to overnight make the changes in the way the employees operated and customers could engage with the bank. So this exposed the bank to unplanned resultant of artificial intelligence. And what happened was the integration issues of migration of infrastructure to cloud, all this had to be done so rapidly that was a greater risk. Then the next was the next risk was speed versus safety. So the Ernst & Young report also warns that while the digital transformation was critical and urgent, but the speed of transformation should not be at the expense of resilience provided by a technology solution which is agile, scalable, functional, prevents cyber attacks, and protects data. So we cannot compromise the safety of the information because we need the speed. And other financial and other cyber crimes included phishing, hacking, spoofing, trojans, unauthorized data access and theft, intellectual property theft, malware insertion, false promotions on behalf of the bank. So again, what was the most worrisome part was there was no substantial law and order mechanism to fight cyber crime. So the next one, breach of data due to third-party apps. So what were the business to align with the third-party apps for various customer experience was essential. Some of them would be social networking app. So a breach through these apps into the business's confidential data or the customer's information is a very potent risk. So also in addition to this, there were other issues which was
I'm sorry, Sweetline, for interrupting you, but I would like to kindly remind you if you can please go and conclude your presentation, so we'll have some time for discussion. Thank you so much.
So the findings were the change in expectations due to new age apps, key recommendation for a retail bank to consider for successful digital transformation. Then in the conclusion, we will see the digital transformation is now an accepted fact for all aspects. Evolving technologies have been instrumental in the creation of business in the sector, such as advisory, portfolio management, corporate consulting, risk management, etc. The sector can be divided into three parts on their extent of digital transformation. First, traditional businesses which are shy of digital transformation, that is like large orthodox banks, and businesses which has already embraced the transformation. They have created cosmetic interventions, an attractive website, few applications which can be accessed by the customer, all have been done. Then new age business who have been formed in this digital age, examples KPMG, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, Boston Consulting Group, all of them. Now the recommendation is the organizational transformation issue. Technology is the core of this transformation. People are critical about any form of change or transformation, so we should look for a full-scale transformation, and the emphasis should be on the two key performers, which is information technology and human resource, and we should have a resilient cyber system and infrastructure, and the plan for business continuity, network, recovery through a well-planned crisis management process. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation, and it's important actually to listen about the obstacles and hazards that challenge this digital transformation in the financial services sector. So now I would like to ask my colleague if we have some questions. I personally would like to ask you which of these probably challenges you feel it should prioritize by banks?
Actually, what is, I read many articles, I found whatever technology it is there already, but the people, the person, the top management, they have to be able to integrate and put all these skills together, and also they should be able to plan very quickly, because the transformation is taking place so fast that also one more thing was retaining of talented people was also very difficult. People kept moving from this place to that place because of many factors. So retention of high skilled people and also integration of all these skills together. So the senior management, it's not just the senior management, but it is the entire organization which should be involved. And also the people who had the technical skills were not aware of the business. So it was also difficult in integrating them. So it is mostly the responsibility of the top management, but it is not going to stop just with the top management.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we all need always to update ourselves about, I guess my colleague Dr. Singh agree with me about this, that we always need to update ourselves about these all that fast changes happen in the financial services sector.
Absolutely, Dr. Mustafa. The changes are already, they were very helpful for the humankind and mankind. But as the presenter has rightly mentioned that these challenges always face human resistance. So
Yes.
always there are some challenges and will be challenges in implementing, whether they are in favor of human mankind or still, as she rightly mentioned that people were preferring first follower rather than being a pioneer, because this was altogether a new concept. So everyone was scared about the consequences.
Yes. Thank you very much for this, for highlighting your opinion about this. And yes, we agree that probably and more research is needed in this area. And now I'm glad to share a part of my humble research with you, colleague, and I would like to ask my co-chair, my colleague Dr. Singh, to remind me with the time if I
Sure.
Thank
So
you.
our next topic is employing structural equation modeling to test a conceptual framework in business studies. So welcome, Dr. Mustafa.
Thank you very much. I will share my screen. So please give me some minutes to May you kindly confirm if you can see my screen well?
It's visible.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be with you in this track on digital transformation in the financial service sector. My name is Mustafa Nurallah. I'm working as a researcher at the Center for Research on Economic Relation at Mid-Sweden University. And today I would like to share and present about employing structure equation modeling to test conceptual framework in business studies, especially in the one related to financial services sector. Briefly, I aim to try probably to summarize and present in somehow in easy step the three main components of this method. And I would like to start that it's always a challenge to review the literature and to try to pick up the study that we need to read.